I'm going live early. 1 minute early. Oh, you go, Shannon. You go, Shannon. I put my hair up. I put my hair down. I put my hair up. I put my hair down. We're down right now. We might put it up in a little while. I don't know. It's a Saturday night. I ain't making no promises. Oh, there's me. There's me. What's up? What's up, Shannon? See, Clancy and Halloween, baby. State of disorder. Hello, hello. Thank you. I got it done like a week ago, and it's a little blonder than I'm used to. I used to be really, really blonde. Hey, Peggy. I used to, Catherine's upstairs. She will not be joining us tonight. Her friend graduated high school. Big deal. Just kidding. She's up there with her dad. Yeah, anyway, I put it up, put it down, put it up, put it down. Ah. Oh God, Clancy, I love a boat. I love a lake. Hey, Lavender, I love a boat. I love a lake. Well, thank you, Peggy. It used to be a lot blonder than this, and then I went kind of like normal, and then I don't know what happened. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Worst things have happened, right? So I'm not gonna get started right now, but I'm gonna put this on the TV. Hey, Emerald Girl. Hey, you. Thank you for being a member for 48 months. Yeah, this is gonna be a pretty good I think everybody's got a plan. Yeah, I think a trip to Mississippi. I ain't going nowhere near Mississippi for nothing. I don't want I ain't going in there, Clancy. No. I'm gonna avoid that state like the plague. Crazy people down there. That's all I'm saying. Hot blood cake. Hello. How are you? How are you? I didn't bother to get a lot of like facts, for this. Mainly because we know what happened. We know what happened. Yeah, what are you doing? We know what happened. I mean, as far as her death and whatnot, I didn't feel like I needed to go through, and then on August 30th, and then on August, I didn't do any of that. As a lot of us already know, and whatnot. Oh, good Lord, everybody's going live now. So then I've got the link. I've got the link pinned. Excuse me. And I had this big. Hey, Cheyenne. I did not get I got my ice machine upstairs, my beautiful ice machine that I love more than anything on earth. It makes my little pellet ice. And I had my core hydration in the, in the freezer. Oh my God, shit, hold on. There's some craziness going around. DK169 Trump probably did it. He probably did do it. Just Natalie. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's what I didn't really need to go through. We know what happened. Hey, Bunky, cameras in Paris. Yeah, I did. I mean, I've loaded some photographs up, and it's just kind of that last day or that maybe that hey, free side of my feet that last week maybe. It just loaded some up, and I loaded some up of the tunnel, and then the funeral, and I have a clip that we're going to play because the Queen, because on the comment sections of, I like to throw hey, PDX, I throw this, will be married. Oh, my, really? Oh, that was the night, yeah. I hate drinking things like this in front of people. Sorry, I left my ice upstairs. I'm just going to have a little bit of my water. But and I put up the hey SDA, you come up, you can come up here because SDA is she know, I think me and SDA might have been separated at birth. Mount Mama, me and her too. Obviously, I think we were separated at birth. Um, so I did put up. Do you think that if you believe Diana was taken out, is it because Charles wanted to remarry, or was it that the royal family couldn't really have the mother of the King of England married to a Muslim? I guess they could have. And then, God forbid, had she had children, how was that all going to play out? Because I don't know that there are, we got water everywhere. I don't know that there are protocols. And if we watch probably, but that's what a lot of people thought too. It's a little bit of both. Hey, it's good. Ghost Myths and Legends of the Queen Mary. How you doing? I got my paranormal people showing up. I have not been on a whole lot. I've missed a lot that's gone on this week. Hey, Rand, I've missed a lot that's gone on this week. I ain't seen my paranormal peeps. I don't know what I've been doing. Oh, I've been, I do what I do. Yeah. So, and then I also wanted to touch on that. Y'all know how I love the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. Those asshole bastard bitches. So this literally, we have had two of the ugliest mutts the world has ever seen. Wallace Simpson and Camilla Parker Yuck. Hey, Quinny, we have had two of the world's ugliest women almost bring down the House of Windsor. Make that make sense. It doesn't. It does not make sense, but would have been a reason. Because, hey, well, we got a thing. This was in what, 97? Yeah, 97. Knitting artist, you. I want to learn to knit, but I don't have patience, so it's not going to work for me. I will throw knitting needles and probably hurt a cat or something. So I did, if you are a student of the monarchy there, and you go back, I had this big long, and Lavender Sunday mentioned it too as a course in college. I went through my Henry VIII. I was obsessed with him. Then I had a book on, I had a book generally about him. Then I had a book about the 6 wives that was written by the same woman who wrote the one. And then I had another book about the 2 daughters and how polar opposite they were. But, the monarch, the English monarch through the years has fudged religion when they wanted something out of it. Right. So in the 16th century, Henry VIII wanted to have his marriage to Catherine of Aragon annulled after 20 some years because he wanted to marry Anne Boleyn. And the Pope was like, no, we're not going to do that. Because if y'all, this will be a little history lesson. Henry VIII was the second son in the lineup, right? His older brother, who actually did marry Catherine of Aragon, but they were children and the marriage was never consummated. And the king and them had already paid the dowry on Catherine of Aragon. So they just said, well, all right, just marry Henry. And they did get married, and they did, have a lot of children. Actually, only one ever lived. But when he wanted to annul that, right, and he tried every which way, Henry VIII, you got to give him credit. He first started with, well, she was married to my brother, and that marriage was consecrated or whatever. And they were like, no, it wasn't. And he was like, oh yeah, okay, never mind. And he kept trying these different things, and the Pope kept saying no, no. So Henry VIII in the 16th century said, well, want to know what? I'm going to create the Church of England, an Anglican church. and I am going to be the head. Above me, only God. And he did. And he annulled his marriage with Catherine of Aragon, and he married Anne Boleyn. Didn't turn out too good for Anne Boleyn. A couple of his wives, it didn't turn out well. But so the monarchy has a way, right, of getting what they want, and it doesn't really matter how they do it. So that's our history. There will be no test tomorrow. And then we have Edward, that son of a bitch, and Wallace Simpson. Don't get me started on that. Because the Anglican Church says, no. If you are divorced, right, and your spouse still walks the earth, you can't get married again. You can't get married again. Now, let's look at this for real quick. So Edward abdicated to his brother, all right? And then we have the Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth becomes queen. All right. Now, first problem with this rule, Margaret, her, and if you watch The Crown, you know, her sister Margaret wanted to marry a divorced man. And tried as she did, the queen couldn't get it done in England, in the church. And Margaret was going to have to give up everything, if she wanted to marry Peter, what's his face. And Margaret decided, yeah, I don't do that. So she didn't get to marry the man that she wanted to marry. Would it have worked out? We don't know. Now we go to the Queen's children. And we have Anne, who gets married first. And Anne wants a divorce. And she gets a divorce. And then Anne remarries while her husband still walked the earth. What? Huh? And then we have Charles get married. And this is the King of England, a future King of England. And the Crown, I love it, but they get shit wrong. And I get it why they do it. I understand why they gloss over some things. But, you know, this is just if you bend the rule a little bit, it's all going to fall apart. It's just, that's one of the, I think in The Crown, it was Tommy Lasser who tells him, if you stop honoring every, you know, custom, it's all going to fall apart. Well, hello, it's falling apart pretty much. So when Charles married Diana, and let me tell you, and I'm going to put this up real quick. And I mean, y'all grab that link if you want to come up here. Yeah. So here we have, this is her. This is the child that he married, right? And then the woman she became. That royal family had no clue that that little meek girl on the left was going to be a formidable adversary in a couple of decades. They had no clue. And look at her, when that took off, when the world fell in love with this girl, Charles was mad. Charles didn't like the hey Sarah Love, paranormal investigators have done paranormal investigators communicate with Prince. If I was her, I would say, look, I am not giving interviews. You've never seen The Crown, Peggy? You know, it's a good show. It's a good show. It is, because you know it's only 2 seasons of different periods. So it would be her early life as a queen was 1 and 2. Season 1 and 2. 3 and 4 is the middle-aged queen, and then 5 and 6 are the her later years. It's a brilliant series. Don't get me wrong, but they gloss over the smoking. No, I haven't. What's that? Yeah, no, that girl. I don't know what they thought was going to happen. I really don't know what they thought was going to happen with this girl, because one, she was beautiful. She was a little overweight. She was a little, look, guys, she wasn't brilliant. Okay. I say that in a not in a way that, she probably didn't know calculus. Okay, that's what I'm saying. But, and they threw this kid, I mean, barely 20. When I think she was like 19 when she got married. I can't even remember now. And they threw her at the world with nothing, no training. What are you going to do? What do you mean? She didn't know what she was doing, and they didn't really give a shit. And then it grew. She grew and she grew, and the love grew. And Charles was probably beside himself, because it always just been him. So yeah, and he couldn't. And then that ugly mutt Camilla. I'm sorry. And when the crown covers Camilla probably pretty accurately. I mean, I know her and Charles were in love way back, and bet she was she was she was loose. That's all I'm gonna say. And so she would not have been somebody that would have been appropriate for him to marry. Put it that way. So, would we have? Well, in the beginning, Peggy, if you go and look back at her, right after the announcement, the engagement announcement, she is healthy. We'll put it this way: she was healthy, right? And then we all know bulimia and whatnot, and this torturous thing that she was in, this marriage that she was woefully not prepared for. And we saw her get just drained down, but then we saw her build herself back up. So yeah, that was during that, right? Lord Mountbatten, that was Charles's and Philip's. They both loved Lord Mountbatten. Actually got a book about his wife, Lord Mountbatten's wife. She was a bit of a whore. I don't know why I'm whispering. She was a bit of a whore. And I can't wait to read that book. Yeah, she was 19, a baby. So they had no clue. They had no clue that this woman was going to change the world. Had they kept her, had they trained her, had they prepared her, just think about and I'm gonna mention Meghan Markle. I don't want to hear nobody's mouth. But listen, so you had a renewed interest in the royal family when we had this royal wedding. I woke up, I think, well, how old was I? I can't remember how old I was when she got married, but I woke up at 4 a.m, right? And I was a young teen, and I watched that whole thing. That was a fairy tale. We thought it was a fairy tale. We thought it was. And it really wasn't. But had they done better and not been so jealous of her, would they still be married today? I don't know. I probably not, but I don't know. When do kings get divorces unless you're Henry VIII? And was, like Anne Boleyn, was Diana murdered just to get her out the way? There was a lot of shit. There's a lot of moving parts to this. Amen, Mama. There's a lot of moving parts. So let's talk just real quickly about Mohammed Al Fayed. Okay, that was Dodi's father. Now, Mohammed Al Fayed. Thank you, Rand. Thank you. Mohammed Al Fayed. All he wanted to do, I mean, he was an Egyptian businessman. He was enamored of the royal family. He bought Harrods in London, a very famous upscale department store. He ran it, he bought the Ritz in Paris. He met Charles and Diana at a polo match. I want to say in the maybe mid to late 80s, because Harrods was sponsoring the polo tournament. So he actually met Diana and he met Charles. And that's all he needed. That's all he needed. He was so happy. And Diana did shy band of memories. Um, uh, Diana did shop a lot at Harrods, in the 80s. We know that to be true. So, and because this is all right, Queen Swags, what are you doing? Well, it was a sacrifice, Peggy. I will agree. They offered her up to the gods. She was going to be too much trouble. I mean, we'll go through the pictures. We know I got a couple of pictures of the kiss that the paparazzi got caught there. And were her and Dodi going to get married? Probably not. I don't think so. I don't think they were going to get married. I don't think it had been gone that far yet. I suspect that Mohammed Al Fayed certainly wanted that to happen. And we'll talk about what he did himself after these deaths. And he is the one that kept on. He had 175 different conspiracy aspects of a conspiracy. And when that happens in like that, it has to be investigated. So this crash was investigated several times and over several different years. And each time it was, this was an accident. This was thank you, Mama. Thank you. Hey, Carrie, my sweet. That this was Andre Paul, the driver, and his alcoholism, and he was drunk, even though he was taking some kind of medicine that was supposed to block that. I can't remember what his blood alcohol. It was through the roof, though. We all know he was drunk. So actually, and that was Mohammed Fayed's employee, as was Trevor Reese Jones, the bodyguard that was in the car with them, was also hired by Mohammed Al Fayed, and he's the only one that lived. As we know, through the thing. So and since so after the death, and we'll look at the Harrods. There's 2 memorials in Harrods dedicated to Dodi and Diana. And I'll show y'all those. I'm sure you've seen probably one of them, but I didn't know there was a statue that was new. Now, I keep talking about the Windsors, right? Oh my God. The Duke and Duchess of Windsor, those assholes. So they had a home in Paris that they leased from the French government. Apparently you can't buy shit, or they just lease it. So it was a lovely, huge home that the Windsors, the Duke and Duchess of Windsor, leased from Paris. All right. And that's where they lived. Now, when the Duke died, right, and the Duchess held on for another like 16 years after that, right? And by the time when she died, Mohammed Al Fayed comes in and doesn't buy the house, but leases it for 50 years. All right. And he and everything in it. So he redid it. He did a lot of money redoing it. You could go. There's a video of it. Of him. I want to say it's Diane Sawyer, but it might be. I don't know what report it was. He would take them up into like the Duchess's room, pull out a drawer, and there was her underwear. Or go up and there's the Duke's suits. Mohammed Fayed really, really, really wanted to be in this circle, in this family. He did anything that he could to do it. I think Diana knew about all this stuff. Yeah, well, I showed the note. And one of the things, and I bet I didn't load that up in my photographs today, where she says Charles is going to kill me. They're going to do it in the car. They're going to fool with my brakes, and she called it. She called it exactly the way it happened. So again, how far will someone go, or many people go, to get what they want? And it'd be Camilla. Camilla? I was gonna load up a picture of Camilla, and I said, well, no, I might have. That note was scary. Jim Savile, U.S. child rapist, was knighted by the Queen. We are. I mean, there you are. I'll say no more. Peggy has just said it. I'll say no more. So let me go through this thing real quick, and and I think, does everybody remember? Oh no, Laura, you're good. We're just chatting. I remember where I was. My Devin was born in 1995. She was ill August 30th, 1997. She was ill and not feeling well, and I had just put her down. Right, I'm on the east coast of the country, so I had just put her down, and flicking, just trying to get relaxed so I could go back to bed. And I'm going on CNN, and boom, it's that she's been injured. And by the time I watched it, I don't remember. I don't think she was dead yet. Well, I didn't. She probably wasn't dead yet. But so I was in love with Lady Diana. My cousin Todd went to England for a couple of semesters at a college over there where he studied architecture. Basically, it was a gay man in the 80s going to London for a couple of semesters. So he would send me clippings, because every day there were 15 stories about Diana in the newspapers. What she was going to wear, what she wore, what she did, what she opened, whatever. And he would send those to me. I had such a big collection. And then there was an actual book that covered the whole wedding itself. And so I was a big fan of hers, really a big fan. And so that night when I turned the TV on and I saw that, and I'm thinking, that can't be right. A car wreck, it didn't make sense. I don't think it makes sense to anybody, but I think everybody kind of almost remembers. And Catherine and I were having this conversation, and she doesn't really, she can't grasp it. It's hard to explain exactly what Diana meant to girls everywhere. She was a fairy tale come true. We thought. I was in our hot tub hanging with friends, and it was awful, right? I remember the people the people laying the flowers down, just wailing. I will never forget the funeral when they picked up. They picked up the king. Prince Charles, the boys, her brother, and Philip. Philip wasn't supposed to walk behind the casket, but William wouldn't go. Didn't want to go. Harry wanted to go. William did not want to walk behind the casket, and they were very close to Prince Philip. And Prince Philip says, "Okay, well, if I go, will you go?" And he said, "Yes." And so that's why you had those men behind that casket. And I will never forget the silence when they made their way through the street. All you could hear was the horses and the wheels. It was silence for, I don't even know how many miles it was. That was incredible. And if you watch the funeral and her brother got up there and basically read them all. He read the Queen. He read the whole family. He read the press. Denise, it was so sad. And I do have a small clip of the Queen actually bowing her head to Diana's hearse. She did it. It wasn't a mistake. It was on a purpose. Hey, Daphne. And I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that because I don't think she's ever bowed her head to anybody. You know, not since she was queen, she hadn't. Who the hell, but that's the mother. And okay, so this was another thing. I looked this up. And when I say I looked this up, it doesn't do any good to look things up. Hey, baby. I looked up whether Charles could be king if Diana was still alive. Now, I ran up on things that said, oh, absolutely. Absolutely. She would have to, if he remarried, right? Which he couldn't have done had she been alive. Duh, that's the problem. Her name would not have been Princess Diana of Wales. It would have gone back to Lady Diana Spencer. Okay. And then once Charles died and Diana's son ascended to the throne, she will be given another title. And what that was, nobody quite knew yet. Becky Boy escaping from Buckingham Palace. Probably that damn Andrew. And probably that damn Andrew. So there's a lot of things that I don't think people knew how this was all going to work out. So Diana dying. Oh, well, at least we don't figure that out. There we are. So we'll just go through the pictures again. The link is pinned. I welcome anyone up, except for if you're going to show your wiener. No, please don't do that. Okay. Look, I have cherries. I'm going to show y'all this. Hold on. Anybody that knows me knows. When cherry season comes around, I'm a happy girl. I am the first one at Kroger waiting for the cherries to be rolled out. I'm the first girl checking out. I don't even care. The biggest bag I can get, right? I'm the first girl to come home. All right. You see these right here. Okay. This is my fourth. Oh, thank you. This is my fourth. I'll say bag. It might be my fifth. I don't even know. I've been eating cherries every day, all day. I probably shouldn't do that. But anyway, I have my cherries here and I have my water. Thank you. It's very blonde. My husband is very excited about that too. He loves it. All right, so let's look at these photos. Well, I had it like, hey, Alan, I had it like, I curled it, the back, how they do, the little flips in it. I have a lot of hair. I have a lot of thin hair. Like, it's like coarse. It's very thin. And a lot of it. So to get a curl into this mop that's going to stay, not without professionals. So as you can see, it's kind of come out, And then I was going to put it back up. But anyway, enough about my hair. All right, let's look at some fun. Let's go back to, this will be memory lane, I guess, right? Let's get it. Oh, my Jesus. Well, there's the pit bull right there. Oh, blueberry. Halloween, baby. And blackberries? Are you kidding me right now? We got blackberries in the backyard. Bushes in the backyard. And if y'all don't know anything about blackberry bushes, they got really gnarly thorns on it. So you got to be real, real careful. I am a fool for berries. I love any kind of berry. I love blueberries. I love blackberries and cherry. It's probably why. I didn't even see like how much sugar a cherry has in it because I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I'm eating cherries. I ain't gonna give a shit. Charlie, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Denise, I love blackberries. God. All right, so here's the mutt, the slut, Prince Charles, and there's our girl Diana on the, of course, on the. They have thornless. Oh, they have thornless blackberry bushes. Oh hell, that's gonna be a problem. That's gonna be a problem. I'm gonna plant cherry trees. My neighbor had a cherry tree, and she cut it down. Like, what was what was that? What was it? What was the name? Yeah, Washington, George Washington. So yeah. Anyway, so we have the mutt and the slut over here, Camilla. We got Big Ear Charles right there with his bow tie crooked. And then I love this photo because look at Diana's looking over like, you pigs. You are pigs. That's why I put that up there. Now, I don't know if y'all know who Paul Beryl is. You probably do. Paul Beryl was Diana's butler. All right. And they were very close. And there are stories that he has told. He actually went to Paris, right? And he had her makeup with him. All right. He didn't stop serving her, And when he got to Paris, it was very hot. And, in the hospital, it was very hot. So they had fans going on Diana's body. They had fans so that we wouldn't start speeding up the process there. So Paul Beryl says that when he walked, hey, Miss Nancy Stevens. I do too, Denise. She's a pig. But Paul Beryl says when he went into the room with Diana, the fans were blowing her hair. She looked perfect. She looked like she was asleep, right? And the butler. And it looked like she was, because the wind was blowing her, the fan was blowing her hair. And then he accompanied, I'm pretty sure, her body back along with Charles and her sisters. And then the very last night, she was, what do they call it? Laid in repose or whatever. She was at Kensington Palace. That's where her body stayed until, the last night or whatever. And he sat up with her that night. He sat up with her all that night before the funeral. And he had a lot of telling, things. She was very paranoid. And I think she had a lot of reason to be paranoid. Because you had this pig over here, this pug, what is she? A pit bull, maybe a bulldog. I don't know what it is. That's her, though. And there's Charles in the middle. And Dinah's like, you two are pigs. Okay, so here's Muhammad Al-Fayed, Dodi Fayed's father, the one that wanted nothing more than to be part of the royal family in any any way he could. So obviously they did know, they knew her. She knew them. And as y'all will remember, the week before I think she died is when she had the boys with her on the yacht that Muhammad Al-Fayed had just bought because he didn't have one big enough. He just bought this yacht. Her and the boys went on the vacation, and we remember the sea-doos and whatnot. And then after that, I know the chat. I keep watching the chat too. I'm like, so yeah, and then her and Dodi went for their own private, And if you watch The Crown, it seems like Mohammed was very behind that, and he probably was. I'm not gonna lie, he probably was. Mohammed Fayed tried twice to become a British citizen, and he was declined both times. Once before any of this happened, and once after it happened. Now, I don't know what Mohammed Fayed thought. He was going to blame Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, specifically for his son's death. I mean, Dodi Fayed named Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, as the one who sent the word to murder her. I don't know why he thought that the British government was going to go. Oh, let me see. Okay, let me see. I got my stamp here. All right, Mohammed El Fayed. Yes, you do. You own Harrods. That's very British. And you think, I'm sorry, what is this? That the Prince Philip of Edinburgh murdered your son. Yeah, we're gonna do a hard no. Hey Jane, I don't know what he thought, but anyway. So they did know each other. There he is. There he is. That's Dodi. Now, if you've ever followed Paul Burrell, there was a doctor from India that Diana was very in love with. This was after that, the one that what was that little asshole's name? That everybody thinks he looks like Prince Harry. James Hewitt. Yeah. It was after him, right? And by the way, I don't think that Diana knew James Hewitt when she was pregnant with Harry, but I could be wrong. But Harry looks a lot like a younger Philip. You might want to go look. All right, so Paul Burrell tells the story of there was I don't think he was Muslim as well. Might be wrong. He was a Indian doctor. She met him when she was doing the hospital visits and whatnot, and they were in love. Okay, I think there's even a little bit of their conversation. If y'all remember, back in the day, it happened here. If you had it was those wireless phones. One day on a police scanner, I heard a woman's conversation on the street behind me, the whole thing. So this happened to Diana and it happened to Charles. When Charles was talking to Camilla and when Diana was talking to some other men. Okay. But there was one doctor that she fell in love with, okay, and vice versa. And at this time, I do not believe that she was divorced, but I could be wrong about that. She even went to India, right? Put the little scarf on her head there and met with his mother. I think I'm unbeknownst to the doctor. And this is all from Paul Burrell, so if it's a lie, he told it. And they had broken up. Diana and this doctor had just kind of broken up. And apparently that is when she started and met Dodi Fayed again on a personal level, not on a, yeah. James Francis Alexander. I love Peggy. I love Peggy. She always goes with receipts too. That's how I found about the two people in my church. Oh, I'm telling you, Daphne, back in the day, that was some good shit, right? So, but Paul Burrell tells the story that he really thought that those two would get back together. I think the doctor was a cardiologist. I'm almost positive he was a cardiologist. And that he knew if that doctor would have called Diana and said, hey, look, let's work this out, she would have said, absolutely. Now, would that have been a better choice? To be the stepfather of the future king of England? I don't know. I mean, Dodi Fayed was kind of a dope. I'm sorry, he was. He was a movie producer. And he also had a girlfriend who, by the way, didn't know he was dating Diana until it was all over the damn papers. Just saying. This is that infamous photograph of her on the end of that boat, the front of that boat. That infamous photograph. Diana was brilliant in her marketing of herself. Do we remember her sitting in front of the Taj Mahal alone? The Taj Mahal was built for the man's first wife. They liked a lot of wives over there. Taj Mahal was dedicated by a man to his beloved wife. And we have that famous photograph of her sitting in front of that monument alone. Brilliant marketing. And this right here, this photograph, I'm sorry that she was brilliant in this. She was perfection, but I don't think she knew it. I don't think she ever believed it. But she was brilliant. This was brilliant. It really was. And just yeah, she was perfect. I agree. So we're this is the last bit we're getting ready to hit. Right? This is the last few days of her life and Dodi's life. And so this again was their, yeah, she was stunning. She was absolutely stunning. And her brother Charles, he's been married a couple of times too as well. And back then, of course, he's got older sisters, right? But he was the only son, so he inherited their family estate. Now I can't remember what the name of it is. But yeah, she asked her brother, Charles, if she could please just come home to home and just kind of lay low. There was a lot going on around her, and he told her no. He didn't want her there causing all the paparazzi and whatnot. So there's a little bit of guilt on his end too when he made that famous. He read the whole damn English royal family. There was a little guilt there too, because she wanted to go home and just be left alone, and he wouldn't let her do it. He said, "No, I don't want paparazzi and planes going over," and that's what would have happened. Yeah, very shy. Yeah, those that brilliant. Her maiden name was Spencer. She would have, Lady Diana Francis Diana. Francis is in there somewhere. Anyway, so he didn't let her come home. And, but how were we to know, right? Sat in front. Exactly, Peggy. And it was so brilliant of her. It was brilliant of her. Because as beautiful and as perfect as she was, we had this Rottweiler, right, that had her husband, all right? Charles likes dogs. And so Diana, at every single turn, made sure the world knew who the victim was in this. Y'all remember that big interview, right? You remember the interview. The interview where she had darkened let's see. I want to say that Charles did the first interview, but I don't know now. I wish I would have done a little bit more research on that. I can't remember who interviewed first. Was it Charles after he got caught on the phone, or was it Diana? It might have been Diana, but she had darkened the makeup around her eyes, and she kept that head, and she was soft spoken and said there were a lot of people in that marriage. It was quite crowded. Again, oh yeah. She gave an interview, and then the night that Charles's interview was going to happen, she showed up at a fair there, at an event, in the sleekest, most gorgeous black mini dress. Oh, she Charles could not get. I mean, you know what I'm saying? There was nothing he could do. There was nothing he could do. She was going to outsmart him every single time. And again, that's probably what led to her being, knocked off. Again, I'm sure Dodi Fayed at this point, and he played Jade, and Muhammad were so thrilled right now, right? I mean, there's Dodi Fayed, his big head. Again, I mean, these are just like, this is the rapid photography that happens. Yes, Stephanie. I want to come back as your tampon. Charles ain't got no game. Charles ain't got He wanted to be reincarnated as her tampon. Charles, what is wrong with you? God. All right, this is the infamous kiss. Oh, goodness gracious, look at that kiss. It was a little smooch. You notice the bathing suit that she has on is the same one that she was wearing on the end of that little boat thing. And the revenge dress. Yes, ma'am, the revenge dress. I think though when she took that photograph on the I don't even know what you call it, that boat thing, the end of the boat. Um, I think that is when the boys were with her. I do. I think that's when the boys. I might be wrong about that. I believe it or not, y'all. Sometimes I'm wrong. I know. I know. I know. I was shocked as well. Okay, so now we have come back. Okay, Easy Patrol says, no. Alan. Oh, y'all ain't got no game like Charles got game. All right, so they're at the Ritz in Paris, another facility owned by Mohammed Fayed. He owned the Ritz, and they were going to, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they were going to leave. They were going to have dinner in the restaurant, right? I know the next day, which I guess would have been September. She died on the 31st. The next day, no, that day, she was going to go back to London and get the boys. I think they were getting ready to start school. So this was literally her last yaha right here, right? So they were going to have dinner at the in the restaurant, but they couldn't because of other people. So they went up to a suite and they had dinner. And if you notice, she's got this outfit on, this uh I don't know if that's a blue or a gray or even a tan jacket. So they're in the envelope, and I said they're in the envelope. They're in the envelope. All right. So now I don't know if we've already had dinner, but these are the last photographs. These are the last photographs. I think that I didn't put the paparazzi and all the photograph, all the photographers out. I should have, but I don't think it. Um, let me form a thought. It was their fault. They were running from the paparazzi, right? They even tried to come out the back of the Ritz, and it just, they weren't gonna. It wasn't gonna work. And so they were. There's photos that are coming up. That's the very last photo of her and Dodi, and she's turned around like she's looking, in the back. And then when they had the accident, she was actually spun around, right, in the floorboard of the back seat, facing the back of the car. And we'll get there. But I didn't take a picture of or I didn't put a picture of all of the paparazzi because while it was their fault that they were following them, I think that Henri Paul, who was legally drunk off his ass, but was supposedly taking that drug, that when you take the drug, you don't feel the effects of alcohol. Okay, well, can't test that out because he died. Here they are again waiting. So her outfit has changed, as is his. So this is when they were going to go to his apartment, I think, and spend the night. Now, yeah, she wasn't wearing a seatbelt. We're going to see the ring in a minute. Do y'all remember the ring? The ring? The ring? The ring that was supposed to, that Mohammed Fayed said was an engagement ring that Dodi had made for Diane, and he was going to pick it up, or did pick it up, or whatever. It was at his apartment. I don't know. So this is a couple. That's a couple. I mean, there's touching. That's familiar. He's, yeah, that's it. And then we got some more. Again, he's holding on to her tight. She's smiling. There's Mr. Reese Jones there, on the left in the back there. That's the bodyguard. And then over here on the right, back there, we have Henri Paul, who was the driver, the drunk driver. And they're just trying to get out the back door. And again, I believe this is them coming in. This would have been on the August 30th, 1997. I can't really tell the time. Maybe a little bit closer to midnight, I guess. Okay, so here's one of the last ones. One of the last ones. I think the Bushes. Oh, the Bushes like George Bush, Mangala. Oh, don't even get me started. Don't get me started on the damn Nazis and the damn and the friggin' Duke of Windsor. Don't get me started on that. I'm telling you, when we cover the Duke of Windsor and that pig he married, darling, what are you doing? That's my daughter Devin. Hi, baby. Hey, baby. You died on your birthday. I was telling them, Devin, that you were, let's see, Devin in 1997 was, well, she was born on New Year's Day, so she would have been 2 years, 8 months, and 30 days old, and she was sick. You might have been demoted, honey. Hold on. Hold on, love. Don't think mom is gonna let that go unanswered. But I was telling that you had been sick, and I was up with you that night, and I got you back to bed, and I was gonna turn the channel, and there she is. Let me see. First, I have to make sure it's you. No, it's not you. You're gonna have to text me if that's you. If that's you, text me. Free side. My girl's beautiful. Right. I didn't use any of those either. I didn't use any of those. Now, there's a lot of, you got to wade through so much of it. Oh, look at my new banners. I was making banners today. I don't know why I got bored. We'll change the subject for 1 second. So I was telling that Catherine, I was like, okay, we need to, when people get like super chats or PayPal's, whatever, a donation, whatever, and play these they play these
It's me.
there you go, thank God. They play these little montages of silliness. So Catherine was trying to figure out how to do that, and I was just making banners. One here is count my nickels, bitch. Hey, ghost, you sitting in the dark. Oh. Don't get blown away. I love you, ghost. How you doing, STA? What did I say, STA? PDX. I'm sorry.
I was like, what?
Too many acronyms. There's too many acronyms around.
So I've been listening, and I got to find my wallet because I lost it somewhere. But so the night that this happened with Princess Di we were actually on our honeymoon, and we went to Canita, which is up past Mount Hood. It's an Indian reservation and a beautiful hotel. Everything, the stormy nights, and we went to the casino. And just as soon as we got back from the casino, see, I'm getting goosebumps right now.
Yeah.
We see what happened on the news, and we're just like, oh my God. And that forever stuck with us because that was the day we got married.
Right.
So the only thing I can say is my husband never forgets our anniversary because, the news comes up with Princess Di. He's like, oh yeah, hon.
Here's my grandson. My middle grandson was born on the same day as Sandy Hook.
Oh my God.
So this thing, count my nickels will be on merch soon. Don't worry, because y'all know that's my phrase. Don't count my nickels. I have to think of these things, PDX. I have to market myself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we're getting down to it. We're getting down to the last, this, I believe, no, I think the next one coming up was the last photo of her. This is the last one.
Yeah.
It was the beginning of the end. When they went into that tunnel, there was no, it wasn't going to end good. Diana's birthday was July 1st. I was going to say that, STA, because she was barely 36 years old. Barely.
Yeah.
And me being 56 right now, she was a baby. And I'm 56. 36 is a baby. She's an infant to me. And
well, I got a son that's 34. I had to think on this one.
Yeah, I got a daughter that's, 38.
Yeah,
So yeah,
see,
so
she's a kid.
this is the beginning of the end here. And all right, did anybody, hey Ace of Spades, um, did anybody watch or has anybody watched the film The Queen that deals, it's Helen Mirren, and it deals with the week following her death to the funeral? Did anybody? I've watched it about
No, I
once.
haven't.
It's a really good film. In that, um,
Is it gonna make me cry?
well, no, it's the Queen. So it's the
Okay,
Queen
okay.
dealing with Diana, and uh, she was at that point not a princess anymore.
Right, right.
And so the Queen, I again, we can only go, we can only guess what actually happened, but they wanted to keep the boys away from all of the coverage. They even
Yeah.
made them go to church the next morning and made sure that the preacher said nothing about the death. Okay. And so do I think that the Queen and Philip and Charles purposefully didn't do anything? I don't know. I don't think that they purposely did it. I think that her family, absolutely wanted it handled privately. And but you cannot. There was no way this was going to be a private funeral. There was
Oh no, no.
anybody was thinking. So when the Queen finally was advised by Tony Blair, you gotta do something, man. You gotta come and do something because your people are pissed right now and they're hurting and and that's when it started. So that movie deals with just that week.
Oh, okay.
And so even to where she comes and she does the speech in front, behind her is like right in front of the Buckingham Palace. I mean, it's a really good film. It's a good film. I loved it. I'll put the link up. It's on here. Is it on here? Oh, it's on Netflix. I'm sorry. So and I can only imagine. I do not think the Queen. I don't really know what went on. I don't know what went on in that house. Oh, thank you, PDX, for gifting 10 memberships.
I'm love bombing you, as they say.
I did not think that was my debit.
No,
My
I
debit popped up. I'm like, that's not my debit. And I knew it wasn't. She has not texted me, but good try, whoever it was. Yeah, and two, so yeah, no, I don't. Y'all need to watch the movie. Watch the movie.
I'll check it out. You said on Netflix?
Yeah, and it's.
Okay.
I mean, Helen Mirren. You cannot. Helen Mirren is so brilliant. I mean, she's just brilliant, and it deals with her and how Tony Blair basically had to just kind of lead the Queen around, by the nose and say, "You got to do this. You got to. You can't. No, this is not going to go away." So, so here we are. This is the last of it. This is the last photograph publicly. Now there are some out there that the paparazzi took of her afterwards. I did not use them because I'm not.
This really breaks my heart because it brings back
exactly.
a lot.
So we have again. Here's the carnage that is. I mean, how anybody survived that? Trevor Reese Jones, he had multiple fractures of the face and he had head injuries, but he is okay now. I mean, I'm sure it was a long thing. And here again, paparazzi taking pictures. We have a law. They have a law in France. It's called the Good Samaritan Law, and basically that means if you are at the scene of an accident or something and you don't render help, that's against the law. So a lot of the paparazzi were rounded up because they did not render any help to these people. A doctor was coming through the tunnel on the other side, just so happened, and he stopped. And I think he said her last words were, "Oh my God, what's happened?" And had they had an operating room right there, so they took her out of the car, right? I love Hitchcock. Alan, baby, don't get me started on Hitchcock. Had they put her in an operating room right there, she still wouldn't have lived because her aorta was torn. So she literally drowned in her own blood. That's, I mean, she had a broken arm, other things like that, but she literally drowned in her own blood. They didn't leave the tunnel right away after the ambulance came because they wanted to try to stabilize her, not knowing that her aorta was torn. So again, she got to the hospital around 2 o'clock. They called it at 4 o'clock, give or take, in the morning. So, and in this film of the Queen gets upset because Charles wants to charter a plane to go get Diana. And she said, well, we're being blamed for spending all this money and wasting money. Do you really want to do that? And in the film, and in quite a lot of places, Charles basically says, well, do you want me to go, fly coach to bring the mother of the future king back? Is that what you want me to do? And obviously she relented, and Charles and Diana's sisters went to Paris to get her. And they covered her in the flag and brought her back. And we have a photograph again. Like, these are just, and wasn't it the 13th pillar? I think it was the
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like the third. Oh shit! All right, here we go. So this is the ring.
Wow.
This is the ring. Okay. The Dodi had, he had that designed. I'm not loving that ring. I don't get it, Dodi, but whatever. She never.
I think it symbolizes something.
It does, yeah, it must. But she never got it because it was at his home, and they never got there. Was it an engagement ring? If you talk to Mohammed Fayed, it absolutely was.
That ain't no friendship ring.
Yeah, well, here you are. So yeah. Also, Mr. Mohammed Al Fayed is the one who said that Diana was pregnant, and that they had only told him. Dodi and Diana had only told him. And he kept saying that over and over. And now, obviously, there was, I don't know, I guess there was an autopsy done. I mean, I know there was. Yeah. But, it was ruled that she was absolutely not pregnant. But what would, let's be real.
You know what? I think she was pregnant, to be honest. I really do. And I think they're just hiding a lot of it.
If she were, say she were, do you really think the doctor's going to come out and go, yeah, she was pregnant?
Yeah, no.
Hell no. And somebody earlier in the comment section said that she had her tubes tied. Could be. I have no idea about that. But unfortunately, Mr. Muhammad Al Fayed probably made that up, that she was pregnant. I don't know why you would do that to the boys. There are some things, they had all these inquisitions, all these inquiries, all these committees, all these studies, and that was you. I thought so, STA. And every single claim that Muhammad made in there, were many, were ultimately not founded. And in one thing that you read, it'll say that Mr. Fayed, the dad, stopped all of this because of the boys. No, he didn't. He kept appealing. He kept appealing these committees and these studies that took years. One was like 2006, 2007, ended in 2010, and Fayed is still appealing it,
Right.
So, he was a man on a mission, this guy, this Mr. Fayed. I don't know. All right, so there's Charles. That is him getting her. Did he cry? I'm sure he did cry. Listen, this was gonna, no matter how or why this woman was killed, it was always going to be about him. Always going to be about him. He knew it. The poor family knew it, And especially when that dog he married, Camilla, he walked that beast into the, Yeah,
I can't stand her.
I think he knew by that time, you know what, my popularity is going to sink again. I got a feeling. So, crying, I'm sure he was. Now, here's Mr. Fayed, and that, I think, is his wife there. And so Muslim.
She's looking young.
Yeah, very much. the young, she wanted 12 kids. I know. You know what should have happened and what did happen. It's never the same thing, is it? I mean, so and Muslims, I think they bury them really close. In fact, I think they really try to get the body buried by nightfall the next day of the after the death. They want it quick. You know, it's just it's a I don't know why. I think even in the I think in the crown, the Queen Mother's like, I think it's something with the heat. I don't know. But they got it. And then here's Mr. Fayed at Diana's funeral. Same lady. And he was graciously invited to that funeral. I'm sure they wish they hadn't done that at this point, but they didn't know what a little pit bull he was going to be. Yeah, within 24 hours, that's what I thought. It's basically by sundown the next day, I think is what they strive for. And Dodi Fayed was buried in France, so he didn't go back to Egypt. All right, so this is this incredible photograph.
Yeah.
These men behind this woman's casket, and that little Harry, and William has, when he was younger, had that same head tilted down, look shy,
Yep.
shyness.
Just like his mom.
And can you imagine these children? Then they were babies, and you have to, you, I mean, you have to do this. You don't have to, but um, in front of billions of people around the world. This is the worst day of your existence, and you have to keep it together.
I was gonna say they couldn't cry, could they, in public?
Yeah, for 2 or 3 miles, you have to do this, and you hear wailing and and whatnot. And I remember when they were still up at Balmoral, and the children and the Charles, the boys, and the Queen and Philip came out and were looking at the flowers that had been left there, and they were William. I think he was probably only maybe was he 13 or 14? I think maybe they ain't that old, and he was shaking people's hands and thanking them. What where does that even come from? I don't even know. But this is one of the most heartbreaking things I've ever seen in my life. I will never forget. They go under a tunnel at one point, and if I'm not mistaken, I think Charles put his arm around Harry. I think while they were in this tunnel, and they didn't think they could be seen, to kind of shore him up, like we're getting it done. We're doing it for her. We're doing it. Okay, this is the point. This right here. This is the Queen bowing her head to Diana's hearse as it goes by. And I'm going to play that over here. I got a little video of it because it really doesn't do it. This photograph doesn't do it justice. So let's share the screen, and
I get a lot of hate if I say I just didn't like the Queen.
No, because
I really didn't like her.
We're American and we don't get it. We don't get it. We don't, I think my thing is silly,
they didn't show any type of love or anything like that. Right. Only Princess Di did.
That's why you need to watch the Queen.
Okay.
Because, I mean, their whole thing was they were keeping the boys safe. And even when they came home, they came back to Buckingham Palace. I should have probably gotten that video too. They get out of the car before they go into the Buckingham Palace, area there, and they start walking and looking at the flowers. It's the Queen and it's Philip, and they said something about take care of the boys, and Philip snapped and said, "That's what we were trying to do." He loved those boys a lot. So let's just look. I'm gonna play it real quick. Make sure I can see it. What do I have? What? Hold on. I'm on somebody else's damn live streaming now. I'm not even watching my own live stream. The hell? Hold on. Hold the fuck up. Jesus Christ. Shannon, get it together.
Yeah. I was trying to say she is disliked. Yeah. I just,
All
I
right, so
don't
here we go. This is just I want to, and I turned the sound down because it's Amy Winehouse
right.
singing, but it's a definite bow of the head. It's
I
and
was also 3 months pregnant when
there we
I
go.
got
She has
married.
bowed her head by this. That to me was everything ever on earth when she did that. It was everything to me. And I will always wonder, and I think everyone too, did she do that because it was her grandson's mother? Did she do it because she really, I mean, the queen don't bow her head to nobody, and she did it
I wonder
to
if
that.
it's because all the cameras and stuff were on her and she
Yeah,
knew there was
yeah,
billions
maybe,
of
yeah,
people watching.
maybe that could be it. That could absolutely be it. That could be it. But it was very telling. Oh shit, I dropped my phone. What did you say? The only good Queen Elizabeth did was take care of her uncle and his wife. She didn't have to. STA, you. Oh, this is my. Hold on, my friend Angelo's up here. Let's say
What
friend
if
Angelo.
STA didn't come up? Hi, STA.
Angelo.
Nice
I
to meet
want
you.
STA to come up here because she knows more about this than I do, and she won't do it. I don't understand it. Just kidding. What are you doing, Angelo?
Not much. How are you?
Hi,
No,
Angela. Nice to meet
we're
you.
talking about our girl Diana.
How come? How come you don't have an intro?
Because I don't know how to do those, and neither does my daughter. I mean, I
Can
told
I?
you today we were trying to get a little thing like when somebody did a PayPal or Cash App, whatever. That they have little. I was gonna take like stupid parts of some of my parodies and kind of make a little song.
I
And
put an intro in your back private chat here for you to try out on your audience, and
okay.
with PDX here,
Oh, okay.
and you guys can be the judge if this fits.
But y'all do see that I do change. Look, my little count my nickels, bitch.
I like that. I like that.
I got more. Hold on. I worked hard on these. I worked very hard. Let me get some
He's like,
more.
I worked hard, damn it.
I did. I
I
worked so hard.
I think you deserve a good, 4 to 5 minute intro that
A
starts
four to
out.
five
Nice.
minute Indra. What am I,
Yeah.
Bon Jovi?
Oh, no,
Yes.
those are the best because people start coming in and gathering
Yeah.
in.
Where's the other ones?
And I've been getting pretty good at this AI shit.
Well,
Ooh.
now let's see. I have to go by back chat, which is located. I'm just kidding. I know where it is.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
two,
All right.
two
We're
sets.
almost done.
Oh,
Then
that's
we'll do
beautiful.
it. Okay.
That's
So
beautiful.
this is the one. Okay, this is the memorial inherit. I believe it's still there. Muhammad Fayed died a couple of years ago. I think it's still in the store. I'm pretty sure those candles stayed lit. While they're not lit in the damn photograph, I couldn't tell you. But as you can see, he very much, as the kids say, shipped them into the relationship that they, obviously they were in a relationship. You tell by the way they, stood by each other, touched each other.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the other one that I don't get at all, and we'll just make this big. This is a statue, and under it, you see there it says innocent victims, and it is Diana and it is Dodi playing with a bird and running. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know about this one.
Or was that their last dance?
No,
No?
no, this is Mohammed Al Fayed had this commissioned and placed in Harrods when it's still there. Innocent victims, because he obviously shouted from the rooftops that they were murdered. And
Right, right.
they probably were. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's one of those conspiracy things.
Oh, well, you know what? Just because it cleared up so many things, her death cleared up so many things. Like what exactly was going to happen if she married anybody, right? And
Right.
what was that going to mean when she was going to be the mother? Because obviously, um, so Queen Elizabeth's mother, once the king died, became the queen's mother, right? So what was going to happen if she married Dodi Fayed and William ascended to the throne, right? And she would
Right.
be,
Right.
I mean, it cleared up a lot of stuff that they weren't chaotic. That they really didn't know the answers. I don't think there was they didn't look at the rule book and go, well, this
And
is
think about in '97, they didn't have the stuff they have nowadays that they could have solved a lot of stuff too.
oh
You
yeah,
know,
no, they
a
didn't.
lot of that.
No. I'm trying to. I took like a little bit of notes simply because again, I looked two different places to see it that if Charles could have remarried had Diana lived, and one place said he could, and another place said he couldn't. So running those two down, then you have to kind of worry about where you are looking. So the survivors say the native children had to kiss her one. What are we doing now? What are we talking about? What's he? I got SDA is like fascinating to me. It's fascinating to me. What is this information? Hold on. I want to say like you said, the Queen. Like, we don't get it over here. We don't get it. I think the closest thing we ever had to royalty would be the Kennedys, and look how that fucking turned out. I mean,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. So
Yeah.
that's the closest thing to a royal family we'll ever have. I loved her. Don't get me wrong. I loved her because she reminded me of my grandmother in every way possible.
Yeah.
My grandmother's 103. My grandmother is still alive. So,
Jeez, that's
but
right.
the my grandmother, she was from a little place called Phoenix, Virginia, and her father ran that whole. He had alfalfa fields. He had a general store. He had
How old is she again?
fields. He had everything. So my grandmother never knew there was a depression and never heard of it in her life. She was never, and so they were workers. So they had, I mean, they had African American people that worked for them. However, my grandmother, my great grandmother, cooked lunch every day for everybody that worked for her husband. Can you imagine that? That's a hot lunch every single day. The children, and this was in Phoenix, Virginia, it's around nothing. Even now, there was a teacher brought in. Those children knew how to read and write. Bless their hearts. My great grandfather's brother was the sheriff, and there was a family there, an African American family, and the father had been assaulting the daughter, and the daughter killed the father. Okay, that girl came to live, not work. Let me just say this: came to live with my great grandmother and my great grandfather. They took care of her, right, and she, finished growing up and whatnot. At his store, my family. I have to tell you, I'm so proud of my family. There was a farm, like back then you didn't really have to have a pharmacist, and when some of the people that worked for my grandfather would need food or medicine or whatever, my great grandfather would front it, right? I mean, you're good for it. You have a tab. Didn't matter who you were. And people would get angry and want to burn his, and I threatened to burn his shit down. And he said, "You better kill me when you do it. You better kill me when you burn down my shit, because that's not how it's gonna go." So my grandmother is from a little bitty town, but the family there were like, they're great. So my grandmother had this aura, she still does, this sense of and it's not royalty. I won't say royalty, but she is very wise. She is very calm. She is okay, so my aunt had a new boyfriend, and we were at my grandmother's for, I think it was Christmas or maybe Thanksgiving. And so you didn't start. I mean, all right, everything was on the table, right? And we sat there and we waited, and we knew somebody hadn't done something right because nothing was being said and nobody was, grabbing their food. And I think my grandfather said, honey, what are we waiting on? And she said, oh, I'm sorry. Stan, which is the guy's name, has forgotten his glass and has brought a can of beer to the table. And I'm just giving him time to run in there and get him a glass. That's the kind of person that she was. She was like, you had things that you did, right? This is what you do. And so that's why it reminded me of her. Basically, the queen reminded me of my grandmother. Because if she got wind of something that you had done, and she would too, you got called to the house, oh girl, you better get your story right. First, you had to wonder which story she heard. And then two, on the way over there, figure out how you're going to try to lie your way out of it, even though there was no way to do it. So they reminded me a lot of each other. My grandparents' 50th anniversary, and the queen had handwritten letter to them. Oh my God. I would die. So yeah, I mean, that's why I think I love the queen so much. She reminded me of my grandmother. And honestly, like to this day, I'm 56. If I get a phone call from grandma, I need you to come over for a minute. I don't know if it's good or bad. I'm 50, it's not like I'm running the roads anymore, right? I'm not running the roads. And being, well, I might be, but I'm not really. So that's why I love the queen so much. And I think this is the last photo that I actually have. It's this. Yeah, that's it. That's the last. That's the one. That's Mr. Mohammed Al Fayed's idea of a fitting memorial.
I think what the statue is saying, if you think about it from like a Shakespearean point of view, is that they're free as a bird.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like they're releasing a bird, they're free.
Yeah,
but they're still victims.
Yeah, innocent victims. That at the bottom of that, innocent victims, and this is in Harrods.
That makes sense.
That is one of the premier. Again, Mr. Mohammed Fayed owned a lot of things in England, and they wouldn't let him become a British citizen. Again, he tried before the death of his son, and he tried afterwards. Again, you're gonna is that my cat? Catherine, is that you? You're gonna have to text me because I had a fake Devin coming here a minute ago. Thank God I didn't bring her up. So let me see. All right, now I've been watching y'all's comments. I think we're all pretty much on the same page. That this was probably 100% done for various reasons. It was, Diana was becoming a problem. And it was a problem that the royal family could not figure out how to get around. Thank you, Charlie Sunsbury. I appreciate you. They didn't know how to get around this problem that was Diana and that had been the problem for a very long time. Anything she did was golden, and anything they did looked horrible.
Right.
That's just the way it was because everything she did, I mean, obviously she made some mistakes.
Everything she touched was golden, yeah.
Yeah, she was a golden child right there. And a victim, I think, in the true sense of the word, she was humiliated on a global scale. A global scale. She was humiliated. And I think people forget that sometimes. I think that they don't think about that like that because but she was on a global, like universal. I mean, if there's any other planets out there, they knew about it too. This woman was the ultimate victim, but she turned it into a F you. I'm going to do this better than you're going to do it. I'm going to make y'all look like pigs. And she did. And then we had that bulldog, Camilla, that, like I said, Charles walked around, still walking around, that ugly mutt, who, by the way, the queen said before she died, Camilla's not going to be the queen, Charles. You can't do that. And he said, okay, Mom, What happened? Guess what? Camilla's the queen. Is referred to as the queen, not the queen consort, whatever, but the actual queen. This pig. When Charles and Diana and Camilla got married, I put up a meme, and it's her with that bulldog face of hers, and it says side pieces keep the faith. And I'm like, there you go. She was the ultimate side piece, and now she's a friggin' queen. And way to go, Charles. I don't even know what to tell you about that. Whatever. So, but we're all pretty much on the. She was a good mother. She was a good mother. But yeah, Diana took those kids in the middle of the night, no cameras, to homeless shelters, and soup kitchens, and they knew. She took them to amusement parks, and they had McDonald's. I mean, she tried to make them very normal children, and she did a great job. I mean, they look. I wish they would all make up. Quite frankly, I wish Harry could come back and all that. I know people don't like Meghan Markle, but 3/4 of the United Kingdom is black. So while they were so, this girl's half black, what are we going to do? Half your empire is black. You should have made it work. Should have made it work, because now it just looks really bad. Diana did what she did nationally, not exactly. It's like we had a discussion. We have a discussion about this a couple of days ago that with Ernie Shell and the HIV, and why I get so fucking angry about people blowing off that HIV, has not bad. And my friend had triplets in like the mid 80s, 84 probably, and they needed a blood transfusion, and they got a blood transfusion from a tainted pint of blood. And those triplets died one by one by one.
Oh my God.
And it was the smallest one first, because the triplets, you always have different sizes.
Right.
The smallest one first, and then the middle one. And then the biggest one and the last one had to wait to die. I take it very seriously. So when Diana goes into these hospitals and puts her hands on a man that is clearly dying of AIDS, he's got the skin cancers, and she touches them, and she changed the world when she did that. She changed the world, and she hugged them, and again, just for that, she should probably be a saint. That's all I'm saying. Because, again, I've told the story about these children. They were small and they couldn't go to school. The whole fucking school system here clutched their pearls that you were going to have these quote unquote AIDS triplets in elementary school with their healthy children. And again, let me just get on my box about this one too. Let me just tell you this. When gay men started dying of the gay cancer, I believe is what they called it, and nobody was real worried about it. Why? Well, because they were gay. Who cares? But when fat old white women who had just gotten a facelift and needed a couple pints of blood started getting it, oh, we got a problem. Ronald Reagan waited until 50,000 men died of AIDS before it ever left his lips, the word AIDS. Get it straight. I know about that shit. Don't ever think I don't. So, yeah, that's it. I got all fired up again. Yeah, anyway. So when she went in there and did that, and she touched them, and she hugged them, and there wasn't, a mask and all that shit just to talk to them, because she understood. And then she took those boys in there, not for the press to see, but let them know, these are going to be your people one day. You better understand them, because your family, your other ones, they don't understand them at all. They don't get it. You two better get it, and I think they do. Actually, I think they do. Worked at, yes, she was a daycare. Yeah, she was a little nanny. That's what she was going to be, a nanny. That was her goal. I think they have nanny schools over there. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, I think they do have. You have to go to a school to be a proper nanny.
Yeah,
But that's
there's a big TV show about those nannies.
yeah, exactly. I know, right? Oh my god, I used to love that show, except for one thing. I hated every kid that was on it. With that beautiful, lovely British and these absolute animal children and these ignorant parents. And I thought, God, why do you want to be on TV and show everybody how completely ignorant you are?
Right.
And yet you're letting something that's 2 foot tall run your life?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think so. If you can't form sentences, you're not going to run my house. That's another tip from Shannon 681. All right, abide by it, people.
That could be a future shirt.
Merch.
Merch.
This is what I do. This is you guys Catherine. We'll be anywhere, right? Anywhere. And I'll say something stupid. I'll look at her and go, merch.
Yep. Shannonisms.
Exactly. Count my nickels, bitch. Oh, I love that one.
That one is definitely going to be your first shirt. It's going to be a picture of you with some nickels falling in your hands and just the words, count my nickels, bitch.
Who do I think is really responsible? It's going to have to be the royal family. It's going to have to be MI6, MI5. It has to be them. It has to be them.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's the only people that it could be. You know, that, and again, it's really, yeah, when you're MI5 or MI6, it's like FBI, CIA type thing over there. When you're responsible for investigating a death that you caused, that you planned, I'm pretty sure you're gonna make sure you're clear. Oh, it wasn't us. No, it wasn't us. Because we also investigated, so it wasn't us, because that's what we do, But no, it had to be them. It had to be them. She was posing such a problem. It was a problem. And she had to go. She had to go. And they she was basically just offered up, like Peggy said, to the gods, almost just offered up. So thank you, Diana, for all you did for us and these beautiful children, but you got to go, because I want to marry that bulldog over there, and I can't do it. If you marry a Muslim, or if I want to be king, you're gonna have to go. That's basically, I mean, she was sacrificed, and I think her sons know that. I really think her sons know it. They have to know it. They have to look around, and you can't think of and look at their father and their grandmother and their grandfather and aunts. I mean, Anne ain't no shrinking violet, okay? And thought about how things got extremely easier once their mother died, And I think that this also proves when Harry was over here in Canada, y'all remember this. I think that Archie had just been born. Him and Megan came over here to Canada, and they actually lived on an island in the middle of the lake. All right, and they thought they were safe, but Charles pulled their security. And here's Harry and William. They've never gone anywhere without security. If you read Harry's book, The Spare, those guys were everywhere with them. Everywhere with them. They didn't know about getting in a car and driving somewhere alone, or being anywhere alone. They would break free and get out, the boys. But when you go from your whole life being guarded to having a wife and a son now, and then your father pulls your security,
that's fucking
because you don't want to take your older brother's bullshit. Come on now. That had to sink into Harry. Is this what my mom felt like? Is they ripped her security too? Make no mistake. Her security got ripped when she was no longer part of the family, too. So, I think Harry, again, he wants to make up with his family, but there's no way Harry doesn't know exactly how his mother felt when all the security got pulled. She made her butler help her dig up the floors, looking for crevices. Well, I mean, yeah. Harry was had overheard the truth. Possibly. I think that too. Like I'm a fan of the family. I'm not happy with William and Kate right now. I think he should make up with Harry, and Charles is just a pig. He's gonna do what he wants to do. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, you can just look how they treat their own. I mean, Harry basically had to figure out how to keep himself, his wife, and his child safe. And Tyler Perry had to come to the rescue and give them a home and security. Give me a break. You telling me the future king of England couldn't have done that?
Right.
The Queen gave Harry and Meghan Frogmore. It's a house. It's also where a lot of the Duke and Duchess of Windsor are buried at Frogmore. She gave them a house there. They refurbished the house at their own expense. And then when the Queen died and Charles became king, he took it back from Harry and Meghan. He took it back. So they had basically go over there and get their shit out of the house that the Queen gave them. This family's fucked up.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. So what do you do in your Harry's thing? Do you get the hell out of Dodge because they've sacrificed your mother, and now you've brought this little brown girl into the picture? Oh, Harry, you done effed up now. William had no exactly. See, that's it, Laura. That is exactly it. William had no choice, none at all. This is his life. This was always going to be his life from the minute he hit Earth. His whole life is planned, and everything he will ever do as a child, as a whatever, has been picked apart. And is he going to the right? Did he do this? Then we had Catherine, who, thank God, the royal family did train her basically a lot better than they did his mother, so that she was ready. In fact, he had wanted to marry her much sooner, right? And then he basically told her, I get it if you don't want to marry me. This is a lot, but, let me know. Basically, I'll check back with you and we'll revisit this. And if we want to get married, we'll do it. And of course she did. But, yeah, they learned a lot from Diana, that family, because Catherine, didn't have the same. Meghan did, unfortunately. She mental health is not a big thing over there. It's really not something, it's really not something that the royal family believes in, which is kind of stupid because that's basically William and Kate's deal there, and Harry's, was mental health, right? They still talk about it. But when they had certain members of the family struggling, well, get over it. Get over it. Oh my God, what the hell was that? So, yeah, I think it was MI6, MI5, MI6. They had to do it. It had to be done. And I'm watching chat, and pretty much everybody here also agrees with that. And I hope that the people that watch this afterwards will agree with it as well. Let us know in the comment section.
I sent you a picture of your first potential merch.
Right. So I hit the private chat, right?
No, it's in your phone.
Oh shit. My phone?
In the phone.
Yeah.
My phone? I was watching somebody else's live on my phone 10 minutes ago.
Well, that way you can share it and see what people think. I think
see.
that'd look great on a coffee cup.
Hold on, I'm taking a picture. I just took a picture of my foot. Hold on.
All right.
Don't give me a smartphone, people. It doesn't work. I just took a picture of my foot. And I'm just trying to open up Angela. Oh, I
I'm
like
thinking
that. You
You
gotta make me
cannot.
skinnier than that.
Listen, that will be on a coffee cup and it'll be fine.
Okay, you're probably right.
Show the audience.
Did I? All right, hold on.
Maybe
Hold on.
show the audience. There you go.
There we go.
Yeah.
You got the earrings right, and you got the shirt right, and the hair. Nah.
And the butterfly. And the butterfly.
There's a butterfly. Oh yeah, a butterfly up here. Yeah, I got my butterfly.
Yeah, there's a butterfly in the picture.
Cute though, right? It's cute.
It's not. It's a cartoon of you. Relax.
I know it's a cartoon, but I'd like to have. If I'm a cartoon, I need to be hot like Jessica Rabbit. Is that too much to ask?
Hold on. Let me see if I can get that.
I want to be like Jessica Rabbit. Then I have another one. I can't remember why I can't pull my up right now, but one of my banners is "Get in the car, bitches. We're going around the block." That's a famous story, and I'll tell you that story now, people, if y'all don't know it. So back in the day, there's this guy Ernie. I don't know if y'all heard of him or not. Anyway, he's an idiot, and
I am in no way, shape, or form involved in this conversation.
He's got no idea who he is, and I don't want him to ever know that. But this moron, right, would, and he still can to this day. He can say something completely bizarre and stupid, and these people believe him, right? And I likened it to my dog Lucy that I used to have. She was a black lab. I loved that dog. That was the best dog ever. But Lucy loved to go riding in the car. And if I were going somewhere, right, that I couldn't take Lucy, she would get in the car and not get out. So what I would have to do was drive around the block, right? Now, Lucy's a dog. So she thought we had been out all day, right? Best day ever, Mom. We've been driving around all day. I love to drive in the car. We used to run around the block, right? But when we got home, she would jump out, and there we go. So I likened this person's appeal to some stupid people as being like Lucy. Get in the car, bitches. We're going around the block. He tends to lie. And his stupid people don't realize it. That is also one of my things. Get in the car, bitches. We're going around the block. That's another one. What's my other one? My famous creed. I have mediocre content, but I deliver it with enthusiasm. Know that all my own. I love that. And that's going on shirts. So can I hit this thing right here?
Yes.
Back here?
Yeah, I want to. I'm excited.
For the link for the song?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, bear in mind before you play this. Okay, you may not like it, which is fine. I can always tweak it.
Okay.
But it's made as a reflection of you and your show.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
And of course, it's made with love. But before you play it, hold on. I got to send you this next one to see if you like this one better for your future merch.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I can't wait to have merch.
There you go. Now imagine this on coffee cup.
Yeah, that's the one I want. Look, look at me. Wait. I look like a complete.
Yes, there you go. That looks like Bewitched.
I love it. I love it.
There you
look
go.
At that. Look at that waist. Look at that tits. You damn right. That's what I'm talking about. That's the Shannon I know. Why is she feeling her boob right there, though? Do you see her feeling her boob? What's going on there?
She's having a field.
She's holding it. She's holding it up. She's holding it up.
I love it.
That'll be on a nice coffee mug. I also got an idea for another one called. It's called. It's called Fuckoffee. Fuckoffee. Fuckoffee.
Fuckoffee. I would like some fuckoffee.
And then underneath that it'll say, because a bitch can.
This is why Angelo is Angelo, y'all. All right, let's hit this and let me. Am I sharing it? Wait a minute. You know I don't know how to do this, right?
Okay, so when you gotta share audio, yeah.
I gotta share audio.
Sharing is caring.
I know, right? Let's hear it. And then we're gonna do that
I'm
one.
so
We're gonna
excited.
do that one. Oh,
Okay.
did y'all see it? What do it mean sign up? I'm on your thing. What does that mean? Go away.
The lights are dim. The air is cold. Another scream lost to time.
Is it supposed to be a video?
Secrets buried deep.
No, it's just the intro.
No,
but not
it's
deep
music.
enough.
Okay. Sounds cool.
This is the Shannon 681.
It's perfect already.
Saturday night, where mysteries never sleep.
Nice.
Shadows move where truth once stood. In tales of bone and ash and blood, the case goes cold, but not the fear. 'Cause what we lost still lingers near. Oh, Shannon 681. The night begins, the veil's undone. Whispers rise from every page, ghosts still speak beyond the grave. Murder, mystery, secret spun. It's Saturday, the truth's begun. She walks the line of fear and fact, digging through what time won't redact. From haunted halls to psychic screams, she threads the dark through shattered dreams. Oh, Shannon 681, where crime and shadow live as one. From silent cries to secret files, she walks the edge with steady style. The stories that the day won't face unravel in the night's embrace. The killer's eyes, the victim's note, the hidden scars, the ghost's last quote. Conspiracies that twist and turn. She lights the match and lets them burn, burn. Oh, Shannon 681,
Oh my god, this is sick.
where truth and terror both outrun. A show that chills and wakes the soul, each case a dark forgotten toll. She leads us through the silent screams and breaks the lock on shadow dreams. Cold steel echoes in the breeze, old files stacked in memories. She sees the signs the others missed, a haunted truth behind each twist. Oh, Shannon 681, where fear and fact come all undone. She opens doors we fear to try, where alibis and spirits lie. Each clue a whisper, every scene a maze of dark, a glimpse between. A scream caught in a phone line's hum, a murder packed, a beating drum, a child's toy found in the snow. She reads the signs the shadows show. Oh, Shannon 681, the truth, the tale, the loaded gun. Through flashing lights and blackened past, she finds the thread, she pulls it fast. No ghost, no killer, tale too steep. She walks the path where secrets sleep. It's over for now, but the dead don't rest, and lies always leave a trail. Stay curious, stay haunted. We'll meet again on the Shannon 681.
I am jealous. That's amazing.
The most perfect thing ever. There's nothing that needs to be fixed. You nailed it the first time.
Well, that was like 52 versions later.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Official time. Hey,
I was doing bits and pieces from your show, taking some of the transcript out of the chat, putting it into it, and then I had to get the beat right, the kind of the eerie little drum in the background kind of thing. Yeah, but yeah.
I love you so much for that. That's it. There we go.
Now, if you can get somebody good with the animation portion of it, you could put that to some animation and have some like mystery clues in the background flowing through, like kind of like a Nancy Drew Hardy Boy kind of approach.
Yeah.
Let's talk with Stony. Stony's good at the AI animation. I'll see you. Yeah.
Stony, I'm coming over to your channel.
I will email you the file. It is already so the way it's copyrighted, it'll be your copyright, but the way it's copyrighted is that it's produced through a production company. So instead of me selling it on Amazon, I'm just giving it to you.
Aww.
That way you can make money on it.
Yay! I need money. Just kidding. I appreciate those.
That's amazing. That was freaking awesome.
That was so great. Oh my God. I can't wait till next week to play it. So, and speaking about next week, all right, so next week, we are going to be talking about Michael Peterson, Kathleen Peterson, and the staircase murder, what you want to call it. That is, if y'all will remember, Michael Peterson and his wife, Kathleen, they lived in Durham, North Carolina. He was an author. She was, I forgot what she did. Anyway, she fell down. They were outside having drinks at in December by the pool. She goes into the house, right? Well, when he finally comes, he finds her at the bottom of their back staircase, and she is dead. She is bled out. There is blood everywhere. Okay, and it was supposedly just a horrible accident, except.
Dun, dun.
Go back about 15, 20 years when Michael Peterson and his first wife lived in Germany. They had a couple and they were friends, and the couple had 2 daughters, and the man died, and so Michael and the mother of the became close, and she fell down the steps and died. And he had her children. He was actually raising their children. So basically, his second wife died exactly the same way a woman died in Germany that he knew. And he was tried and convicted of this murder. Now, here comes the problem. About 8 years later, he was they let him out of jail. They overturned the conviction, and he was going to be retried. This is also a Netflix documentary. It's like maybe 3 or 4 parts, and it's them getting ready, right, to go through the retrial. What ended up happening was Michael Peterson pled guilty to an Alford plea, which basically means Michael Peterson agrees that the state of North Carolina has enough evidence to convict him of murder, but he still remains he's still innocent. He is innocent, but he is absolutely agreeing that the state has enough evidence to convict him. Why this was done, I couldn't tell you. I'll have to go back and watch. But if you know about this case, if you watch it, you absolutely will go back and forth on whether he did it or whether he didn't. This was really high profile when it went on. He was a novelist. He was also bisexual, and Kathleen, his wife, who basically was the breadwinner, went on his computer to do something and found evidence of his boyfriend, friends, put it that way. He had a a favorite website that he liked to visit. So yeah, you have children. You have the two children that are from the woman that died in Germany that he raised, and then you had two sons that he had with his first wife, and then Kathleen had a daughter, and they were a blended family, and all of the children were strictly behind him. Every one of the children. And then things got weird. So then you had the children believe in different things and whatnot. It's fascinating. It really is. If you have not seen that video, it's called the documentary is called The Staircase. I think that might just be the end of it. I think that's the name of it. It's very interesting. The owl. Oh God, yeah, the owl feathers. Y'all just come back next Saturday. Y'all are gonna be. This is so strange. There's actually a theory that an owl, and owls did live in this part in the neighborhood where they lived. That an owl, there's a certain kind of owl, that Kathleen must have gone outside, maybe out of the front door, and that an owl came and grabbed her by her head, okay, and wounded her to the point that it was fatal. And she walks back in and tries to go up the steps and falls because she has hair in her hands. I'm reading right now the autopsy report. She had hair, her own hair in her hands. It was pulled out of her head. Okay, it was pulled out. The lacerations. They took the lacerations of the woman in Germany 20 years before, and the picture of her lacerations, they were almost identical.
What?
And, yeah. And Michael Peterson was the one who found the first woman. Okay. It's a lot. It's a lot. So, but there were like microscopic owl feather things in her wounds. No, I'm reading the autopsy now. It's very telling. But yeah, they found like a murder weapon. It was like a blow, you chunk of fire with it, but you blow in it and that was a gift that had been given to him, and that was a lot. It looked like some of the wounds that she had in her head, but they couldn't find it. The actual you just have to watch it. You have to watch it. It is
Wow.
It's nuts. It's nuts. But this guy is so likable and believable that you're watching this documentary and you're like, there's no way he was. Look at him, he's great. And then you look at the evidence and you're like, he absolutely did it. And then you look back over him and go, no way. It is, she didn't have any skull fractures. It's a lot. It's a lot. So I beg of y'all, go watch the documentary or just look it up. This case is, basically now we have nobody responsible for the death of Kathleen Peterson. Apparently the state of North Carolina, after 8 years, said, you know what, Michael, come on out. We're going to, no, we're going to drop it all. We're not good. We're going to overturn your conviction. He had lawyers. Don't get me wrong. He had high-priced, good lawyers that were doing it pro bono. For the
right.
For the that's how America works around here. Is ask Casey Anthony about that, or anybody else that has used a lawyer like that. So it's very interesting. It is very interesting. So we're going to go through that. I'm going to try to do that all in one. And I say that because by the time we go through the first woman's death, okay, and then, we can't. We have to go through her death, and then we have to go back, okay.
And this is next week's?
Yeah, this is next week. So then you have to go forward to the owl. Then we're looking at the autopsy in her body, and then we're looking at his activity, dating websites and whatnot. It's a lot. But AD Boss, It's very interesting. And if you look down this that blood stayed in that staircase for a very long time because police were looking at it, lawyers were looking at it, and that back staircase was covered. That there is blood from the top to the bottom. A lot of blood.
I can only imagine because I know you if you get cut on the top of your head, it bleeds and bleeds and bleeds.
She bled out, girl, and it is everywhere, and it had to stay there. Henry Lee, do y'all know who Henry Lee is? He is a forensic doctor. I guess he does autopsies and all that. Yeah, he does. He actually came in on Peterson's side, and he went and looked at the blood splatter and all that. It made sense to him. He made it look like maybe it was an accident. And then you have the prosecution's, expert come in and go, what the hell is he talking about? He's an idiot. And they went through it, like any good trial. Oh, thank you, D-Boss. So that's next Saturday. And after that, I don't know. We'll figure out something else. I'm telling y'all, we've covered a lot of things. Every time I go and look for something new to cover, right? You get a list or whatever. I hear about it, whatever. I'm going to write down, actually, I'm getting probably tomorrow. I'm getting a list of everything that we've done in the last few years. It's a lot of cases that we've hit. A lot of cases. We've been to the Roanoke, the Lost Colony of Roanoke. We've been to Jack the Ripper. We went over here to, the Zodiac Killer. We've been in Iowa.
We haven't done the Green River Killer.
Well, we know, but that's not a mystery.
Oh, it's not, is it?
It has to be a mystery.
He was for a while.
He was a mystery now.
Yeah.
We've done a lot. Like, I'll go and look for different ones, and I'm like, we've done it. But I'm always looking, and y'all do give me great suggestions, so keep those coming.
Here, I'm going to drop down so that way you can see goodbyes.
Somebody last week. I'm sorry. Somebody last week actually, I think, suggested this, and I'm like, hell's yeah, the Colonial Parkway. That's a good one, Laura Lee, because I'm in Virginia, and there was the mother. Oh, where'd my girl go? One of the mother and the daughter was supposed to meet the mother, and they were going to come to Lynchburg, where I live, to go shopping. So when this Colonial Parkway shit was going on, like local news was telling women, because apparently they think he got to people by coming up by a woman and telling her their tires, low or whatever like that. So let me write that. PDX, you fell clean off the damn panel. What is wrong with you? Let me write that down. I have it written down somewhere, but I make lists and then I lose lists. I'll do that. And then I make lists telling me to go find the list that I lost that has the list. Thank you, PDX, for coming down. I love it when you're up here. Let me do Colonial. I'm writing on my list. Colonial Parkway. That's a great one, and that's right back. That's right here. So I hope that y'all enjoyed this presentation. I think we're all of the same agreement that this lovely woman was murdered, and it was for no other reason than she was going to cause some trouble. Wait till she finds out she can use her brain. No, Catherine. Let's not talk about that. My doctor was writing stuff down for me, what she was telling me. This is a stupid story. She was, telling me some kind of shit to look up, right? And I'm like, okay. I said, well, just write it down, right? So she writes it down on a little sticky note, and I put it on my phone. I put this sticky note on my phone, and she was like, there's a notepad in there, and I'm like, yeah, I don't. No, I don't know. I ran around with a sticky note on my phone. But thank y'all for coming. I love these things. We're getting out of the drama. There's a lot of drama going on. And it's nice to just come over here and not have that much. So if you can, please try to look at the Staircase documentary or look it up. It's You won't be sorry. And so next Saturday, that's what we're going to cover. And all you that come and do the watch, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate you very much. Y'all always show up and you always rewatch it on the replay, and I appreciate that. And I will see y'all soon. And next week we're gonna have the intro. I'm playing the intro. Cheyenne, thank you for coming. I really love it when y'all come and I can entertain y'all. Thank you, PDX. Thank you. So, all right, y'all be good, be safe. Now listen. Earlier today, I was gonna do a little marathon for my favorite stalker on earth. The woman who wants to drink my blood and wear my skin. Mrs. Munchausen, 2000 to 2025, and do a montage of her foolishness and make money, make nickels. I was going to do that today. Well, I just said I was going to do it to piss her off. But you know what? I might do it tomorrow. We might not. We might have a little look back at the idiot that is Spirit Finder. And if so, bring your change purses because I'm going to need nickel. Because when I make money talking about her, she goes crazy. Bring your nickels. Thank you all for being a member for 21 months and much. Thank you. So to you as well. Y'all be safe. I might see you tomorrow. Depends on what kind of mood I'm in. All right. Sub up to everybody. And I will see y'all soon. Catherine, I'm coming up. Bye.